All right, Grant. Let's go into our D&D segment.
Yep.
All right. How can we explain this? All right. So this is Grum's posted out some stuff on Wizard of the Coast talking about like the Wizard of the Coast and Hasbro when they released the new dungeon guide and how all those changes they made. We covered it in the last podcast, but basically what they're doing is they're making D&D very soft
Yeah.
and very way too much roles now. They're adding too many roles that make Dungeon Master have to identify trigger warnings up front and a bunch of other stupid stuff. They made the dwarves cooking pastries in some of the pictures, and it's very like cartoony and just not D&D, I
No,
guess
it's
you could
not.
say. So Grum's posted this.
It's
We covered
basically
all.
they've basically turned it from tackle football to two-hand touch.
Yeah, but this one is interesting because let me go back down. Let me pull a tweet up. Okay, there we go. All right. But anyway, they released something recently, and they actually went back after the Wizards of the Coast and the Hasbro went after Gygax and others, the original D&D creators, and started slandering them. Like the original creators of this, they started to go after. One of the things of note, we'll pull this up real quick. See if we can pull that. Let me zoom out. All right, so this is stupid right here.
Yeah.
All right, so this is an article, and it talks about the rules and stuff like that, and the original D&D created. But they right here they're attacking the community. What they thought the community used to be was just exclusive for white middle class men. It's never been that.
Yeah. So read that. So
It's
for
like
people who
they
can't.
created something out of nothing. Now, did it happen that white middle class men played the game a lot? Oh yeah. But I remember playing when I was younger, and I played with friends, and
Yeah.
there were females present.
Yeah.
I mean, they played it too back then. So what are we talking about here?
Which was weird because
It's
women
like they're
playing D&D
creating
back
something
then
out of
was.
nothing. That's not true.
So I'm gonna read it for people who are not watching the stream. It says, note that the rules for fantastic medieval war games campaigns that make it the original D&D were created by and sold to wargaming community that was almost exclusively white middle class men. The rules compiled here offer little, by the way, of roles.
It's just nonsense, dude.
Yeah.
It's nonsense. All right, let me go back.
But what if you're like a lower class white?
What's that?
What if you're a lower class white? Where do they stand?
Yeah.
You know, I heard he got a lot. So apparently he like became like a Christian. That guy.
Hmm.
I don't. Is he still alive? I don't know if he's still alive.
Hmm.
But like he got like blackballed for that.
Well, the issue also is that they don't refer to him at all, like the credit and everything like that. Like it's like they are trying to forget him, like the current Wizards of the Coast
So
team
does he
and
not have
everything.
any like stake in it anymore? Like is he
I
sold
don't
all
think so,
rights?
dude.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of like Steve was it Steve Wozniak from Apple?
Yeah, but here we're about to hit the one of the trifectas here.
Oh God,
All
I
right,
don't
so
know.
this article explains again it's attacking the older gamers, the original creator, and about like why it was bad back then. But anyway, so in the 1970s, historical war gamers in America were predominantly white middle class men. I mean, here we go. They love fucking race, dude.
I
They
know.
love bringing up race.
Well, I mean, but that's not true because what if they're poor?
It isn't surprising that they would dub a class of soldiers the fighting man. Oh no. But when in the pages of the Greyhawk, the description of the Queen of Chaotic Dragon includes a dig at women's lib.
Hmm.
The
God,
misogyny, the misogyny
I want to see
is
who wrote. I
revealed
want to
as
see
a
a picture of who wrote
conscious
this.
choice. What?
I want to see a picture of who wrote this.
You know exactly what they look like.
I know.
Misogyny. So stupid. It's an unfortunate fact that women seldom appear in original D&D, and when they do, they're usually portrayed disrespectfully. Slavery appears in the original D&D, not a human tragedy that devastated generations over centuries. Okay, so what they're talking about here when it comes to slavery, Grant, okay, there's campaigns in D&D that you actually go kill slavers
Yeah.
or you try to rescue people from slavers.
Yeah.
It teaches a valid kind of point there that you're actually trying to save people from slavery.
Yeah.
It's not portraying slavery as good. It never has, because slavery by default, as everyone knows, is bad. You don't
Yeah.
have to tell
Correct.
anyone that.
Yeah.
But they're trying to pretend here in this article and hitting the original creators and people that used to play the game or still play it, but they're older. They're trying to hit them like slavery was a, I guess, good thing in D&D, or it was portrayed as good. It was not. It was campaigns you went to save people from slavery. So what are we talking about here? This is why this article is just a fucking it's a piece of it's trash.
Yeah. It's garbage. I mean,
Cultural appropriation.
they didn't like the women who are dressed up as clerics with big tits.
Yeah. So anyway, let me blow this up again.
I'd like to take some feminists down the book aisle and let them show them all the old Fabio books. Remember the
Listen,
old
this game was majority of men played this game when it first
Yeah,
came out, and
of
it has
course.
always been a majority of men.
Yeah.
Okay, so if they want to add sexy women in a majority male game,
Well, here's the
then
thing.
there's nothing wrong with that.
Here's the thing. Like, this is like one of those things, like, you can't make people play this game. So just because they happen to be white, that's not nobody's fault. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
you can't make other races play this game.
that's true. Okay, we already kind of covered this, but the article continues to slam the creators and the early books and everything like that. Grums also goes into uh, there you go right there. So lying about slavery, like D&D promoted it. Slavery was sometimes, again, a campaign choice that to go rescue people and or kill slavers. So, I mean, I don't know what they're trying to prove in that article besides just lie their asses off.
It's garbage, man.
Misogynistic. I mean, that's just I'm kind of tired of that word, honestly. They use it
Everything,
way too much.
dude. It's
Everything's
all lost.
misogynist, you know.
So here's a newer thing that's also, so now, they all call us Nazis. That's losing its meaning, and now we're building concentration camps. The thing about this is saying stuff like that. I know this is getting a little off subject, but saying things like that is really disrespectful for people who really had to deal with Nazis in concentration camps. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, well, I mean, this is disrespectful actual slavery
yeah,
because it's not promoting slavery in this fantasy world. It's not promoting it. It's identifying it as bad.
yeah,
Even the old versions, it identifies the slavery as bad. But this article is such a fucking shit show of lies and turning truths around. But you can check out Grums's post. He has a whole thread on it, kind of blasting it on X. And he brings up a lot of good points. Yeah, and like this one is interesting. Let's pull this up. The final big lie in D&D Anniversary Forward is that the deities and the demigods were culturally appropriating. And the players were expected to kill these gods in some kind of insensitive and offensive manner. First of all, cultural appropriation is a myth. Thank you. Perpetrated by predominantly white authors on behalf of supposed offended cultures. I mean, that's true.
yeah.
Usually your white liberal females are your very soy boy white men that want to give reparations and all that shit like that and get on their fucking knees and stuff like that for people. This is who's actually pushing most of this stuff. But Rob explained that these myths and gods were painstakingly researched in an age before the internet, with many trips to the library with great care.
No, you didn't. Nope. No, you did
Nobody
not.
was killing gods. You were supposed to be champions of different gods. They set this up as a false narrative. You have to include HP and AC for them in case someone brings a battle to the god.
I
Like
guarantee
God
you
versus
not
God. Gods
went to
fight
the
each other, and
library.
they're always trying to kill each other in myths.
You hear me?
What's
I
that?
guarantee not one of those people went to a library. A library? Really?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's where you lost. That's where you just lost the argument. None of y'all went to a library. Who goes to a
Yeah.
library anymore? Like seriously,
What's that?
I said, who goes to a library anymore? Like, what kind
Mm,
of books are you going to find in a library that you can't find online now?
yeah, we got a really nice library next to us.
Nobody
Uh,
cares.
so next is other claims about D&D being against including women are debunked by Rob. And Gary's own comments need to be viewed in the light of the times. It was the 70s, and the media was hyping up feminism, especially radical feminism, hateful towards men. They even had a big network game show at the time called Battle of the Sexes, and everyone had an opinion. While Gary was definitely against radical feminism, he was inclusive as far as D&D and his company was concerned. That's true. Rob explained this thing starts from the niche of niche wargaming. When it's niche, it started with men. Women are not excluded, but they didn't want to play. They excluded themselves. It's true. This game was, again, predominantly male. Okay.
Dude,
And women did not want to play this game at the time.
women
I mean,
didn't
it's
play
just
this game.
how it was.
Women didn't play this game when we were kids.
Yeah, they did not. Very few did. But anyway, the article continues. I don't want to get too caught up in this.
Me and Ed used to be like
People
this.
can
Hey,
just
Ed.
go check out this post. It's a really good breakdown. So go check out Grums's post on his. It's really good breakdown
Me and
on
Ed. Remember
what's
Ed?
going on with D
We'd
and
be like,
D.
hey, you want to play D&D? Like we had to be like real quiet about it.
So this is from one of the original books, Dungeon Guides. All right, so it's time to put a stop to the Marauder. This is for the slave pits of the Undercity. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
characters 4 through 7. It's time to put a stop to the Marauders. For years, the coastal towns have been burned and looted by the forces of evil.
Yeah.
You and your fellow adventurers have been recruited to root out and destroy the source of these raids. But beware, hundreds of have good men and women have been
And
taken
women.
by the slavers and have been seen or heard from again, and never have been seen or heard from again. So this is saying slavery is bad, and you're going to rescue people from slavery.
Yeah.
But guess what? In this world, in D&D, slavery does exist. And it's, again, what we saw earlier, good versus evil.
Yep.
Okay, so
It's become a joke at this point.
it is. It's become just like every time one of these people come out and says something,
Like,
trifecta or
like
whatever,
here's I know
I just
it's
can't take them seriously
well, it's
anymore.
not even that. It's just like like first of
What
all,
is that?
like it's just so exhausting to hear this. Like it's just like oh my, like just when you think you can't bitch about something else, they find something to bitch about. Like when can you ever just stop bitching about stuff? Like at
Yeah,
what point can you not find anything to bitch about anymore?
yeah. So Dungeons, I mean, like, I still think people are going to play Dungeons and Dragons how they have been playing. They're not going to
Yeah,
pay attention to most of this
yeah,
shit.
they're not going to
But
do all
why
that.
do something like this? The Wizards of the Coast, they need to be held accountable for this because this is ridiculous. And you're slamming the original creators, and you're being dishonest about it too. Shame on you.
Yeah,
All
ain't
right,
nobody's going
so
to do that stupid hand signal shit. Get the fuck out of here.
yeah, no one's going to do that shit.
If I was a dungeon master, I'd kick you out if you do that. If you get triggered, you're out of the game. But I'm killing you off.
Speaking of triggered,
Yeah, they don't like that.
what's that?
They don't
Yeah, they
like
don't like
that.
that. Black Myth Wudong. All right, let me
That
close this.
the dude said Black Myth Dookie Kong. Like God.
All right, but yeah, man, like this is another IP getting invaded by people that,
Visitors. That's what they
yeah,
are.
tourists, visitors, whatever you want to call them, complaining about nothing and spinning the truth, like
It's all right.
majority of them do.
It's all right. You know what's really going to be the tipping point is when it starts making its way into like Pokemon. You know things that like people really care about.
Heard it is already making it into Pokemon.
Yeah. Well, wait till it gets like big. Wait till it becomes like full blown.
Yeah. But we saw this with Warhammer already with the female custodies. Um, we're seeing it in other IPs now, D&D. They're spinning original games when they're making these remakes or remasters, or just spinning the IP completely new again, making characters like lesbian and all that stuff.
Yeah,
Getting rid of what people fell in love in the first place with them,
correct.
because they want to inject their ridiculous propaganda and woke ideologies into something that they know won't sell by itself. So they have to take original popular things
Correct. They have to
and
attach
infect
it
it
to
with
an.
this
They
stuff.
have to
Because
attach it.
that's the only way they can
Attach.
get the message. They can't create a game that revolves around what they want to try to deliver, because they know it will fail.
Yep.
All right, Grant. That's it, dude.
That's it, man.
That's all the news.